Music is a vehicle that can take you anywhere you want to go, anytime you want to be there. No matter what you do, why you do it, who you choose to do it with or for, music will ensure that the moment is always just right. The saxophone is the luxury sports model of all vehicles that insists that you experience the ultimate groove that sets the mood for whatever you choose. Mighty Horn Music presents the COVID Concert Series with saxophonist Travis Bridges. Live from the Hollywood Home Studio. Smooth jazz, top 40, R&B, inspirationals, and more. Thank you for tuning in. You are now on a musical first-class journey to anywhere you want to be.
Oh my goodness. Hello, and how are you doing? Those are the only words that I could do this intro with, so I'll say it again. Oh my goodness. I'm saying it that way because this has to be the most awkward setup that I've had thus far in all of my days of live streaming. So I thank you in advance for bearing with me through this. My name is Travis Bridges and welcome to Swym, Pwym. This is the spin-off to my Sunday night live stream entitled the COVID Concert Series. So if you are in the chat room with me and you can hear me fine and you heard the intro, just let me know. I have a different team of fine folks that are working with me tonight on my technical staff, so thank you in advance for keeping me posted with what you're hearing and what you're seeing, as I don't even have headphones in. I do have a couple of guests lined up and we're going to talk. That's exactly what the purpose of this live stream is. And people ask me occasionally, well, what are you going to talk about? Well, what is your subject going to be? Well, at this point, I don't have subjects and I don't have things I'm going to talk about because it almost doesn't matter. I am 100% convinced that, speaking and communicating is very important. And the reason there's chaos, whether it's in your home, in your family, on your job, or, even with different countries in the world, that communicating is effectively is where most of our problems lie. So why I've been called to be the guy to study this, I don't know. I'm just convinced that I'm going to just go with it. And I said a few weeks ago that I don't want anybody to prove me wrong, but as I get guests, I kind of would like to hear from people that either have an opinion that's for what I'm saying or even against it. So there's no good, bad, there's no right or left, and there's not necessarily a wrong or right in what I'm trying to do. I just believe that, when you listen, when you hear, when you understand, and when you reconfirm what you heard and what you thought was said or was conveyed, I believe you have a better chance at having peace as it relates to communicating. And that's what we want, it is peace. There's a scripture that says, God hasn't given us the spirit of fear. Well, I don't think God has given us the spirit of chaos, but we have chaos, don't we? Of course we do. And the reason we have chaos is not because it was given to us, because somewhere along the way in communication, we pick that up. And before you know it, if it's not our ego, it's some kind of other go. But I think we can fix that if we bring awareness to what we're actually hearing and how we're hearing it. So I want to say hello to Pedro Martinez. Thank you, Pedro, for hanging out with me. I know that in your country that Spanish is popular and you are working on your English just as well as I'm working on my Spanish. So hopefully at some point in time I could get like a little crawler on the bottom that will, maybe translate it in Spanish until you can up your English like I need to up my Spanish. So hello to our monk and anybody else that's with me. I do have a special guest that's going to come on in a little bit. But I have a couple of warm ups that I'm going to dig into before I get into my special guest. So I'm going to pull up these numbers and I'm going to call what I call my warm ups. And I hope my friends don't mind me calling them warm ups. That's just a cute word for guinea pig. And not in a bad way. I mean, I believe in not despising small beginnings, and that's what I'm kind of sort of calling this, a small beginning. But I believe at some point in time that it will, get bigger and better, and maybe someone will at some point in time care about what I have to say. And until then, I'm just going to keep on grooving. Uh, let's see. So I'm going to reach out to my first warm up and see how this go. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing? Appreciate you checking in. So let's see what happens with my first caller. Ooh, and I don't call names, by the way. All right, here we go. We got one ring going. There's two rings, and of course, my technicians, let me know if you can hear this good when my call. Hey there.
Hi, Travis. How you doing today?
Fantabulistic. Thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Wonderful.
Tuning in.
Awesome. First things first, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine. And do I sound okay?
Yes, you do. Loud and clear.
That's what I want to hear.
And you're looking good too.
Oh, come on now, stop. I ain't no good when it comes to compliments. When you say good, do you mean good or good?
The second one.
You better stop.
Are you blushing?
Who, me? No, I'm not blushing at all. I'm just trying to have a wholesome conversation because that's what this is about.
Okay.
So anyway,
well, the setting looks nice. The setting looks very nice, and you're coming in loud and clear, and
cool.
I see you very well.
Well, remind me to tell you about my setting. It's nowhere near what I planned, but this is where I'm at. And I don't believe it's, it matters what you have. It's using what you have. So that's what I'm trying to do. Use what I have. So how was your day today?
It was great. It was great. I had company. We celebrated St. Patrick's Day and kind of had some food from Ireland to celebrate.
Yeah, did you have corned beef and hash? Corned beef?
No, we had bangers and mash, if you know what that is.
I don't. You want you to tell me what bangers and mash is?
Well, it's a sausage you cook, and you put it over mashed potatoes with like a gravy on top.
Oh, boy.
It's good.
That sounds like it might be good.
You would like it.
Okay, I hope I would. Maybe I'll try it one day. Anyway, I make it a habit of now in the beginning anyway of not calling names. So, of course, no one knows who you are unless they recognize your voice. But before I get started, I just kind of want to know if you are aware. I know you've been listening, and thank you so much for all the support over the last few months. As I said, it's a small beginning, but I'm despising not small beginnings. So can you just give me your understanding of what you know this live stream to be? Because I do have another caller, and then I have a special guest that I'm going to get to. So can you just give me your understanding of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it? If you care to do so, I'd appreciate it.
Yes. So I've known you for a little while, and you have always expressed a concern for how people listen, hear, say what they mean what they say, and communicate that between each other. And you believe that when that miscommunication happens, there's got to be a way to find peace between you. So talking it out is better than walking away from a conversation, and that's what you encourage us all to do.
Okay, that's pretty much in a nutshell. I kind of want to ask you something about that, though. In that talking it out, I just want your opinion on how important is it, if you have a disagreement, or I like to use the term chaos. So if you have chaos or a type of disagreement, how important is it that you at least try to remove your personal feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs? And I don't want to confuse and say that those things are not important. But if you have, chaos or any type of disagreement, in your own words, not anyone else's, but how important is it to remove those personal things I just mentioned in order to get to the bottom of what is and or what is not?
Well, I think because we're all human beings, it's very difficult to remove our feelings because they play a very important role in our lives. They trigger things that are uncomfortable for us. They trigger thoughts and feelings that come to play. But an intelligent person would probably try to, or would at least try to, use knowledge and understanding. And I think understanding does require you to where they're coming from. So I think you need to hear each other out. Try to understand, try to use knowledge, and try to realize that maybe your own feelings are getting in the way, and maybe they don't understand your feelings and need to understand them more. Because I don't think you can erase them completely. I think they guide us, they trigger us, they are a gut feeling, and many times we all go with that gut feeling. So we have to time. So that's kind of how I look at feelings.
I lost you for a
but I
second.
understand
You said we have to what? Something
those
happened.
can get in the way. Say that again.
I said I lost you for a second. You said sometimes we have to do something, and I'm not sure what that word was you used when you said we have to. You said sometimes we have to, and then your phone went.
Sometimes gut feelings, because they do trigger something inside of us that needs our attention.
Right.
It always can be used to bring peace to a situation, but I think you need to be aware that it's happening, address it, and try to use knowledge, understanding, and wisdom to reach a place of peace.
Okay, I agree with you, and I kind of
That's
want
how
to.
I look at it.
I would like to reiterate something. I agree with you that you can't get rid of those things, or it's hard to get rid of those things. But the closer you want to get either to the truth, the more you're going to have to alleviate those things. So I want to kind of reiterate what you said. You said it's hard to get rid of those things. I'm not contesting that in any kind of way. I do understand. That is why I'm bringing awareness to it so that we can do some of those hard things to help us get to an easier life. So I understand that it's hard, and I'm not contesting that. However, the harder we allow it to be to remove those things, the harder it's going to be to reach a resolve. So as much as I want to agree with you in that you can't get rid of them, not that you're saying that, or it's harder, I think we have to, move aside what's hard because, it's hard to wake up in the morning and go to the gym. It's hard to, to drink the amount of water, that we're supposed to drink in a day. And it's hard to, to drive the speed limit when you're in a hurry. But guess what we have to do if we want to be healthy and we want to stay, out of a high insurance premium from getting tickets? We have to do those things anyway, although they're hard. So I may have gone way out in left field to make my point, but I just want to come back to what you said. Yes, you can use those things. They're there for us as a guide. Intuition, I wouldn't trade it for the world. But I don't want, my emotions or my feelings or my belief to be the primary guiding force when I have logic and I have points of references and I have laws and universal principles that are set in place that don't really matter, how I feel, what I think, or what I believe. So I get your point, and I can't thank you enough for sharing it. And as much as I'd love to keep your beautiful voice on the phone, I'm going to go ahead and let you go unless you have anything closing that you'd like to say before you take off.
No, I pretty much agree with you. The only point I make about the feelings and the thoughts are that you can't get rid of them, but you can learn to manage them. And I think we're both saying pretty much the same thing. They can't get in the way since they come and go with the blink of an eye.
Right. Well, I can't thank you enough. I long for the day that I can say names and companies and all that. But as for now, I'm just going to say, my good old buddy, pal, friend, thank you so much for being supportive all this long time. And thank you for being there at the last minute to come on and be my starter for tonight. I really appreciate it. And you know I love you, right?
Right. Thanks, Travis.
My
It's
pleasure.
a pleasure being on your show. I think it's going to be a complete success, like your playing on Sunday night in your live stream. You worked really hard to make that happen, and it's been a delight. Thank you.
My pleasure. You have a good night. And remember, as you make your way, find somebody you need to say I love you to, and don't just say it, but show it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Have a good night. Rest well.
Bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was my first starter caller, and I do have one more that's waiting in the wings to show some support and show some love, and I'm going to get that caller on the phone. But before I go to that, I want to thank you for tuning in. My name is Travis Bridges. This is Swym Pwym. What is Swym Pwym? Swym Pwym is say what you mean and play what you mean. I get to play what you mean from my Sunday night live stream entitled the COVID Concert Series. And this is a spin-off from that, saying what I mean and playing what I mean. So I want to be able to say what I mean and make sure you understand what I'm saying, and make sure that what you understand is exactly what I'm saying. So that's why I'm bringing awareness to how we listen and how we process information. So again, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It happens on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. And my Sunday night live stream happens on Sunday night at 9 p.m. And guess what? I promised the week before that I would be on Sunday night. But guess what I got? I got a paid gig on Sunday. And I will not be in my normal habitat on this coming Sunday. However, if I'm allowed to, I will plug in and stream what I'm doing from where I am, if I'm allowed to do that. If not, I will see you on the following Sunday, unless, that is, I have a paid gig. So with that being said, I'm going to move right along on to my next startup caller, because I have a special guest that's sitting in the wings waiting, and we gonna talk. So let me get my next caller geared up, and thank you for your patience as I work through my expensive gear here that allows me to take time to dial, that cheap stuff. You just hit it and it dials real fast. So we don't have any of that. We have the kind that, you have to take time with. Anyway, on to my next caller, and let's see what happens. One ring. Two rings.
Hello?
Hey!
Hello? Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I couldn't hear you at first. It's like you answered the phone and you had your finger in your nose or something like that.
Trust me, I did not.
You did not? Are you sure? Because I heard the phone answer, but then I didn't hear anything. So we're all good now?
All good.
You know I'm just messing with you, right?
Yep, I know.
Okay. So how's everything going with you? Sounds like you're eating something or chewing gum. What are you doing?
No, drinking some water.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it kind of sounds the same. I can't tell if you're smacking on something or if you're drinking water.
Might have been the bottle that you heard.
Right. So, did you hear my first caller?
I did.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'm going to kind of sort of ask you the same thing I asked that caller, but I want you to pretend you didn't hear that caller, and then I want you to give me in your words what it is that you think I'm doing. I'm a musician, and I spend a little bit of time in radio as a radio personality, DJ, talk show, not a talk show host, but an on-air talent. And that was many, many moons ago. Clearly, I wasn't that good at it because I'm not doing it now. But I did continue with my production skills, so I do know how to write script and voice spots and produce a radio commercial and even some audio for TV, and I'm even dabbling a little bit in some video production. So with that being said, I am now taking my gift, skills, and talents to the internet. Thanks to COVID, I've got to find some creative ways to, express my gift, skills, and talents. So this is one of many that are on the way. So with that being said, and you've been also a supporter of mine, and I can't thank you enough. Let me just tell you right now on record, I appreciate you. But with that being said, what is it that you think or feel that I'm doing? What is your take on what's happening with my Wednesday night live stream? Go.
Well, I do believe that you have special talents and gifts in conversation, and especially when it comes to conversation regarding feelings and things that may cause triggers and things like that. I think that you are able to kind of intuitively sense the way that people are feeling, even though that they cannot express it themselves. And you have a really expert way of drawing people out and getting to the real issue at hand, and helping them to kind of see and understand what they're feeling, why they're feeling it, through your conversation with them.
Cool. So what I think you just described is the psychology field or counseling field. I don't claim to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a counselor at all. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. However, what you just described with what I'm doing is similar along those lines. Is that what you're saying? I have some counseling skills or the ability to listen or communicate? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you for that. As much as I'd love to keep you on the phone, I do have another guest, and I'm hoping that I've talked up enough time so that me and my next guest is we're going to get into a conversation, and I don't know what we're going to talk about. So when I prompt my guest and invited them to be on, they were like, "Well, what's the topic going to be?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I don't have topics yet. I'm not a talk show host. This is not necessarily that, So I'm going to give you the opportunity to, if you can think of a topic, just give me something that maybe I can ask my guest, because I don't really have a topic and I really don't care what we talk about. I just want to hear what a person is saying and make sure that they mean what they're saying and I'm understanding clearly what they're saying. So I don't care what it is. I do have a couple things in my back pocket though that I'm probably going to throw out there, but until I do, I'm just going to let it ride. Any ideas of something that I could throw out there? And don't say no.
Sure, No, sure. You had a topic that you started to have a conversation with a couple of weeks ago, and I don't think that you guys ever really finished it. When you were talking about the people that you have an attraction to, but don't necessarily have a relationship or have I can't remember exactly how you worded it, but I know that you had started to ask that question, and I don't think that you and your other caller really finished that conversation.
Okay, now I'm going to see if any of my technicians remember what that topic was. So that's good. I think I think it has something to do about attraction in relationships. Maybe that's what it was. Attraction in relationships, where you fit in and where you don't fit in, and how you fit in, if you fit in. So yeah, maybe that would be a good topic. And I'm going to keep that. Okay, I have my little, what do you call it? I have my, I have a topic in this pocket. I'm going to put that topic in this pocket and see how it goes. So I think it was called positions in a relationship. What did they call it? Come on, help me out.
I don't remember what you called it. I remember what the
attractions.
The gist
attractions in relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna roll with that. That's pretty good. Listen, thank you so much. You know I appreciate you, right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna move to my next caller. And I'm going to use that as a topic. Any closing thoughts, views, comments before I go?
Nope. Have a great evening.
I will. Thank you so much. And remember, as you make your way, you know what to do, right? Tell me what you're supposed to do.
Say I love you.
No, first of all, you have to find somebody that you need to say I love you to. Okay. Then after you find them, you've got to say to them that I love you. And then after you say it, you don't only just say it, then you have to find a way to show it.
I can't say I love you to everybody.
Well, you can if you want to, but it's not necessarily required to actually say it to everybody. But showing it would, make a bigger difference. So either way, just do it. Find somebody you need to say it to, and don't just say it, but show it to.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you have a good night. Take care of yourself, and till the next time,
All right.
have a good night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye. Okay, there you go. Caller number 2. And now, let's see, man. Oh, I had this thing in queue. So thank you so much. That caller we were talking about, just listening, how you listen and hear. And these are people that know me. These are my friends, that kind of sort of follow me and support what I do. So they might have a little bias in, their way of seeing me. But I promise you, none of them will say anything good about me unless it's really true. Because as close as they are my friends, like my other buddy, they're not always on my side. So I have to be careful when I ask their opinion because I actually do get it. So with that being said, I'm going to round up my next call. And if you're just tuning in by chance, my name is Travis Bridges. This is Swym, Pwym. Say what you mean and play what you mean. On Sunday nights, I play what I mean on my live stream entitled The COVID Concert Series with Travis Bridges live from the Hollywood Home Studio. But then on Wednesday night, this is the spinoff. I go to the Hollywood Home Studio, and this is my makeshift Hollywood Home Studio away from home because I'm not necessarily in town right now, so I'm just doing this. So if you're tuning in, that's what we're doing. We're talking about talking, pretty much, listening, paying attention, making sure we understand, and how important that is. And I'm just bringing awareness to that. So with that being said, let me see if I can get my next caller on the phone. And I'm going to dial that number right now. Wow, let's see. I told y'all before that I don't have one of those cheap systems. And I should be able to dial this a little faster. Okay, but I'm doing the best I can. So thank you for working with me. All right, so this is my special guest caller. And before I do that, I am going to take not what we call a break, but just a little shouty shout. So do me a favor, hold the spot you got. I'll be right back.
Mighty, mighty, mighty horn music. Mighty, mighty, mighty horn music.
As time draws near and you plan your social events, call Mighty Horn Music for a party you and your friends will never forget. From banquets, receptions, family reunions, and church functions to birthday, executive, or private parties, Mighty Horn delivers. Event packages include live musicians, psalmists, comedians, clowns, and a karaoke show that's guaranteed to make you laugh. Mighty Horn Music specializes in providing a variety of music to keep your guests going for hours. Mighty Horn Music. Let us create a custom sound for your special event. From start to finish, Mighty Horn Music will plan your theme, decorate, cater, and entertain your guests with class and style. This year, make your events live with Mighty Horn Music. Call 786-487-7338, 786-487-7338, or log on to mightyhornmusic.com and let's party.
When the world feels stuck at home, there are people who would love nothing more than to have a home. Disasters don't stop during a pandemic. Together, we continue to give help and hope to those in need. Help now at redcross.org.
Wow. Okay. That was an old set of commercials, and that's what I get for being on the road again. And I thank you so much for hanging out with me, being there while I took that little short, what you call it. Anyway, let me get my next caller on and we're going to go. Welcome to Swym, Pwym, say what you mean, play what you mean. I'm Travis Bridges and the phone is ringing.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
how you feeling?
Fine and you?
That's good. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you well.
And guess what? Your voice is cutting through real good. I was concerned at first about how your voice was going to come, but you were referred to me by one of our mutual friends, and I'm going to tell you what she kind of sort of said about you. She said, oh wow, chat disconnection. Please wait while you try to reconnect you. Oh wow, I'm disconnected. Why? I think I'm off the air. No, not you. Hold on a second. I think I'm off the air for a second. I don't know if that's true or not. My technician should be connecting with me right now. I can actually see that it is gone. I don't know why.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe it's too much power.
Too much power. Nothing wrong with power.
Hold on. Let's see. Why am I disconnected?
Take your
Oh
time.
man.
Get the internet and all that stuff.
Somebody let me know if I'm on or not. I have technicians standing by.
Oh, okay.
That would be terrible if I have a guest on and then my computer stuff is acting funky. That ain't cool at all. Let's see if I even... Well, if I didn't have a Wi-Fi, I wouldn't even have you on, so...
Okay.
Is anybody going to send me a text? Oh, they said they can hear me soon. Oh, maybe it's the... Okay. Tell me one more time, my technician who just sent me a message to let me know they can hear and see me fine. Let me know you can hear my guest too. We can't hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you and guest too. Okay, no, we're good. So now we're back. So thank you so much for your patience. I don't know why it's spinning around like that, but I'm going to go on and I'm going to keep... Whoa, what did I just do? Oh, man. Oh, man. I hate when this happens. And it would happen with my special guest. I had all those warm-up calls, there. And
So if I'm still hearing you, maybe the others are still hearing you likewise.
and you're still seeing me also?
I don't see you. We just on the phone. I'm just...
Oh, no. No, not you hearing me. No, I know you can hear me on, on the phone. I'm just waiting on... Error has occurred. What is this? Please try back again later. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to end this stream and I'm gonna come back. I gotta do this. Your stream will stop immediately. Not yet. Okay. One of my technicians. They're saying that everything is fine. I'm gonna keep watching my monitor here to see if everything. So we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go with it. They're telling me everything is fine, and I'm gonna trust that. So I guess I can't get any things. Anyway, were you listening to the live stream in the beginning?
No, sir. I wasn't able to connect to that. I was having trouble too.
Okay, well, let me bring you up to speed then. I had two warm-up guests on. They're friends of mine who support, what I do. And I was just asking them if they understood what it was that I did. And they were giving me their version of what they think that is. And I'm grateful for them because I'm on track with what I'm trying to deliver. And I'm going to share with you exactly what that is. My background is in radio. And from my Hollywood home studio, I write script and I produce radio commercials and audio for TV. And nights and weekends, I go out as a musician and I provide live entertainment and audio services for a variety of venues and events. However, thanks to COVID, I haven't been able to do as much of that as I would like to do and as much as I used to do. So I had to get creative. Instead of going out live, I started doing live streams from the home studio. And then after that, I got the spinoff to do this Wednesday night, a live stream, which is called Swym, Pwym. And what Swym, Pwym is the letters of say what you mean and play what you mean. And how that came about is I am convinced that, anytime we have chaos or any kind of disagreement in any kind of communication process, whether it's friends or, loved ones, husbands and wife, um, organizations, the reason we have this breakdown in communication is because we don't communicate. We don't necessarily hear what's actually being said, what someone is actually meaning, and then confirm what they mean. And then the second phase of that is being okay with what is. Sometimes if we get the rules of something, like if gravity says, you can't fly if you jump off the top of a building, we go around the corner and have an attitude, or we get mad about it and say, I believe I can fly. And you can believe that all you want to, but the universal principle says you can't without wings or the law of lift. So I'm bringing awareness to that okay, when we do get the rules or the laws or the principles, that we have to then be okay with it, so that we can then exist in that peace. So I kind of want your feedback on that, and I do have two different topics I'm going to run past you, but I want to make sure you understand what my purpose is. I want to bring awareness to how we listen, and whenever we have chaos, I want to be able to help people, including myself, to analyze what we're doing, what we're talking about, and try, the closer we want to get to the truth, is removing our personal agendas, from things. And if you can get away with that, if you are the king of the hill, you are the CEO, if you are the big bad boss, and what you say goes, and it's your way or the highway, then by all means, good luck with being a dictator and having people, like you and get along. Because, sometimes, life is like that. You find people in situations where it doesn't matter what you think, why you feel, it's your way. But if you ever want to get to the bottom of the truth, you have to be okay with looking at, what really is and what's not. So just give me your take on that.
I applaud you for all that you have accomplished and with all you're doing for the people and having that voice and allowing the people to have a voice of response back to you. But I'm very transparent when it comes to day to day, when it comes to my way of thinking. We often use the word communicate, but it's hard to communicate to some, others, when there's lack of comprehension. So I find that you can say, Carolyn, that it brings a problem, not just to myself, but then you find yourself irritated and irritable, because I had experience today where someone, I needed them to show me something. Mm-hmm. And they knew how to do it. They knew exactly what to do. I didn't know what to do. So by me not knowing, and I'm asking questions, it made them a little angry, a little bitter with me, because you're a grown woman. You should know this. No, I'm asking you for help because I know that you know it. So am I wrong because I'm not grasping what it is that is required or should be, because I am a woman, I am an adult, and you know something that I do have something I need, but yet your temperament, your attitude, your behavior towards me brought about some frustrations because of my lack of knowledge. And that's a lot of times, I find a lot of times there is lack of patience when it comes to showing, giving, expressing, loving, being kind, day-to-day activity, day-to-day movement, day-to-day action, my way or no way. Mm-hmm. And that's where I find on my day-to-day what I deal with throughout my life.
So how did that situation end up, that you were in? How did that work? How did that end up?
I had to pull back. What I had to learn, and I'm learning even by listening to you, is to listen. And I also have to play back. Back in 2008, I suffered with a stroke. Mm-hmm. At the age of 40 plus years old. And I'm out of work now for the last 4 years from education, working with special needs students. Mm-hmm. And I've been out of work now due to work-related injury for last 4 years. And I had to find ways to, if you say something to Carolyn, I have to respond back to you. Carolyn, I need you to go take the trash. Or you like for me to go take the trash? Because I may not hear exactly what you're saying because I may have a lot of other things going on, but you want my attention right then and there. So I have to pull back. I have to take a minute and almost like play back. Did you say, or are you asking me to do what now? So I have to take time instead of being so anxious. You know, about speaking, don't be anxious for nothing. Don't be anxious for anything. But in communication, conversations, I mean, out of work, I get stimulated by listening to other people, reading, watching TV, radio, going to the store. Just, I don't know a stranger. You're not a stranger to me. If I meet you in the grocery store today, you're my friend. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't go places where I look at you as being a stranger. Mm-hmm. You know, so what I find that what helps me and what works for me is I have to pause, I have to slow down, I have to take my little breath and play back what it is that you ask of me or asking of me. You know, don't assume that I know it because you spoke it. I have to process it before I sometimes act on it. You understand that?
Yes, I do. No, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, now I just kind of want to zero in on something in particular. Removing personal agendas, you know, your feelings, your beliefs, your thoughts. If there's chaos or disagreement between two people or, you know, a situation, and you want to get to the bottom of it, how important is it, or do you think it's important? Is it even possible, do you think, that, you know, someone can remove their personal feelings from a situation in order to get to the truth? Because if something is, you know, let's just say a fact, and then you feel that it's not, or you believe that it's not, or you don't think it should be a certain way, and it is, you're going to have problems with the person that agree that, okay, wait a minute, this is, you know, black and white right here. But yeah, I feel this way. How important is it to remove your personal agendas from, you know, a situation that needs resolving?
How important?
How important is it?
Each individual is entitled to their opinion, and you have to respect their opinion, understanding that they are just their opinions. But if it comes to my friendships or day-to-day activities, if there's something I can do to rectify or bring some type of resolution to a situation, I oftentimes have to pull back and reassess. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I wasn't listening enough. Maybe I wasn't that friend that friend needed at that time. Mm-hmm. So I have to sit back and reassess, because it's hard oftentimes when you're caring for someone to not have your feelings involved. It's hard to separate those two. But I feel that there's enough care and attentiveness, and that person or those people that are involved want some type of resolution to what's going on, they will reason. They will find ways to reason. And that's the only way I could handle my day-to-day, or handle what it is when it comes to me being involved and having people in my circle. I'm not always right. I learn daily. When I was in the education system, my greatest teacher were my students. My greatest teacher were those students that were special needed and needed me. I thought I needed them. They needed me. I needed them more than they needed me. Mm-hmm. You know, I learned from them. I grew from them. I developed from them. They were my teachers. They educated me. So it provided me with strength and cohesiveness to understand that we're not going to always get it right. Mm-hmm. And it's not about who wins. Oh, you won this battle. No. We got to figure out how we're going to come together and make sense of what is ailing both of us. Because we're both in it because we care, but there's no win-win situation when the two are in agreement. We got to figure out what can we do to bring some resolution, bring some results to whatever it is that is ailing us, making us, you know, off heads in so many words.
Cool. You said something that I just kind of want to hone in on. You said it's hard. You said it's hard to do that. It's hard to remove those emotions. Does it matter if it's hard? Because as I said to the other caller, it's hard to get up and go work out in the morning. But if you want to be healthy, or fit, you might want to do that. It's hard, to drink the amount of water that you need. But if you don't want your skin all dried out, you have to do it. So if you want resolve, it may be hard to remove your, emotions, but you got to find that place of saying, okay, I got to check myself. Check, check, check. And is this my personal feelings? Is this my belief? Am I being, am I adding too much of this? Because, and you can tell, if you're doing that in some capacity, if there's no resolve. Because if gravity says you can't jump off the top of a building without wings or the law of lift and not be injured or, killed, you can't say, well, I want to fly anyway. So if you don't have a resolve, I think it's important to keep talking instead of being mad. Now, hold on. I'm going to take a break before you respond. Robin says, saying what you mean can push the other person away. Some people are meek and very tender-hearted. Then there are those you need to come core with to get. Hardcore, okay. To be hardcore. So I think she's saying, well, yeah, I kind of agree with that. Well, I'm going to just address her before we go on. I think she's saying is that some people are tender and soft around the edges, and if you are, interacting with that person, maybe you should take their personality into consideration, or take their, personality into consideration. I'm okay with that too, but after you've, spent 10 hours, on a subject or a situation, you can't necessarily cater so much to someone's, emotions, because then you're doing the opposite of what I'm bringing attention to. Truth is truth, facts is facts, and whether you like it or not, or whether a person can handle it or not, is important, but you can't let that be the determining factor. So I will agree with her in saying that, okay, maybe you should be considerate of different people's personality traits, but at the end of the day, if I need to get a job done and my job or my money or, my integrity is going to be on the line, I think I'm going to try to go with, what the rule says or what, the law says, and or, what universal principles I need to govern myself by. So I get her point. You want to add to that in any kind of way? Do you understand what I think she's trying to say about, being considerate of someone?
Yeah. You have to be considerate. And if the person is someone that's familiar to you, you know that person. You know their characteristics. You know what triggers them. And a lot of times we play on those triggers. And I'm a very sensitive person. I can be very emotional. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So if I'm coming to you because I'm hurting and I want to get this off, I need you to listen to me. I need you to listen. Whether or not you're able to receive, that person has to have a willing heart to receive what's being said and, what's reciprocated. Because everything doesn't go according, because you want to get your stuff out right now. You're going to hear me right now. I'm not ready to hear you right now. I'm not ready for your apology. I'm not ready for your acceptance. But yet, in doing so, when it's time, I believe the two parties or whomever involved, they will find some type of reasoning. They will come together and let's discuss this. Let's sit back. Let's powwow. Let's get it all and stuff. But we're going to keep the respect there.
Okay, I get your point.
Everybody, yeah.
I want to jump in real quick. I don't mean to cut y'all. I have a small confession to make, because Robin and Mayoshi now, they're making some points in saying that the approach makes a huge difference, and Robin says we need to get to know the people we're communicating with. I'm going to go on record and say I agree 100% with what they're both saying, because they are right. You do need to I guess have a little pizzazz with your communication skills. And I'm just going to go on record because, not that I'm going to make it about me, but just for 10 seconds, I'm going to say I kind of struggle with that, especially after that horse is dead already and I'm still beating it. I'm okay with starting out with, realizing that a person is a little soft around the edges, or they have a little meek, or as she said, or they're tender-hearted. I'm okay because I'm not a bad guy, and not to make this so much about me. I just want to keep reiterating that. But I still want to get to at the end of the day, and when the rubber meets the road, you still have to go with what really is and be okay with accepting that. So I'm going to let you finish, and we're going to go on. What Mayoshi says and what Robin says, I agree with you 100%. But we're not talking about, in the beginning, or, being cunning with your personality or your communication skills. We're talking about times of chaos when there's a problem that needs to be solved, and you've got to get to the next day or the next client or the next issue. So I get you. Thanks for sharing your input. I really appreciate it. Now, I didn't say your name. You said your name, and I was trying to stay away from saying names. And if I have to rebroadcast this, I'll edit it unless you don't care about somebody knowing your name. I'm just trying to keep away from that. Anything else you want to add to that? Because we only have about 10 more minutes, and I do want to get to a couple of other quick things.
You can go ahead. I'm listening. This is my first time, so I'm learning and I'm listening.
Okay, let me just ask you.
You have to pick and choose your battle.
Yeah, there you go. There's another point. If you know the person you're dealing with, sometimes, oh boy, you just said something. I'm gonna ride that horse for a minute. You're picking and choosing your battles. She said, you have to know the person you're communicating with. Sometimes you just have to say, yeah, okay, all right, then, okay, all right, well, have a good day, then click. Not that you're being rude or mean, but sometimes you have to, let go and let God, and let people be, and move along, and choose the battles. Like, okay, I'm not gonna fight this. But I want to go on to something else that one of my callers mentioned last week. See if I can remember it now. Had to do with relationships. We're changing the subject a little bit. Had to do with how we fit in relationships. And I'm sure I don't think I want, because I don't remember the topic, and probably when I started talking about it was something that was fresh in my head. So I'm going to try to resurrect it. Gosh, man, why am I drawing these blanks? I think I need to drink more water. Let's see if I can pull up my notes here. I think attractions in relationships. Being okay with where we fit in a relationship. And I'm going to give an example if I can. Okay. Gosh, man, I was so good at this, the last time. Where, attractions in a relationship. Being okay that you may not be the favorite brother or sister. That's a touchy area. Or you may not be the favorite employee. Let's just say on your job, your boss likes your coworker a little better than you for whatever reason. You still have a job. You still get paid. But you just don't feel good about how your boss just may not like you as much as they like someone else. So I'm kind of off base a little bit, but I want your input on getting in where we fit in and being okay with what is. Unless someone comes out of their mouth and say, look, I don't like you, I don't want to hear from you, don't want to be around you. That's a different story. But, having a problem, it's like, man, I can't be in this group because these people don't like me, or being okay. I guess the point I was making is being okay with where you are in every situation. Even, the car you drive. Being okay with where you fit in. I want a new Hummer. I really do. The new ones that's coming out next year. They're fired up. But guess what? I don't think my pocket is going to let me get into that. So I have to be okay with my old truck that I've driven for 15 years. And I have to be okay with that. Now, I can lose sleep being mad because I don't fit into that money, category to where I can go buy a new one. So I'm kind of, trying to keep it easy, just being okay with where we fit in and not stressing over it. So I'm going to let you have some of the last words because we're going to close out. What are your thoughts on where we fit in relationships?
I am the oldest of three. I have two younger brothers. They often battle about tell her she loves you. They have two different people, two different personalities. I love you both, but I have to love you differently based on your needs of me. You know, one is more dependent, more codependent, more needy. The other one, he's taking care of, he's handling himself. So I am the common denominator, but yet I love you both accordingly based on what your needs are of me. And also when it comes to working, your working environment, you're trying to people please, you're trying to, if my boss don't like me and stuff, you're there to do a service. You're there to do a job. Everybody, I'm not in the business of being liked by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not going to like me. Everyone's not going to get along with me. But in doing so, I have to toughen up my skin and do my job. Do what I was hired to do. I'm not going to go out and hang with the bosses and drink and hang out the bars just to fit in. I don't. That's not my character. That's not who I am. I'm not a brown noser. I don't kiss up to get along. You know, if I use those terms. But at the same time, know your worth, know your strength, and just build your job, your 9 to 5, however. And once it's done, somebody's always watching you. It may not be that boss, it may be that boss's boss, but somebody's watching you at all times. So just keep your eyes on the prize and stay focused, and don't always look at other people because you don't know what it took for that person or person to gain what they have. You know, there's a cause and effect. You see the beginning, but you don't know what all that will have allowed you to get to what you see of those of today. Okay. And that's my thoughts of that.
Okay.
Conversation.
Yeah, you kind of went off a little bit, didn't you? Huh? You feel
I get excited about something.
You feeling all right?
I told you I go when I start talking. Huh?
I said you feeling all right? You good?
I'm great.
Okay, listen. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down. I want to ask you a small favor though. Would you come back with me next week? Because I want to get into something else with you. You said something that made me think of something. And I'm way in a whole nother place, another part of the world. And you talking about someone is always watching you. You just kind of like, my heart just beat real fast. Because someone that I met like a day before said that they saw me leaving the gym and going into a grocery store. And they said, "Oh, I saw you." And I was like, my God, I'm way over here. And people are saying, so you're right. You're right. People are always watching you. I'm not going to get off subject. But anyway, I want to ask you if you'll come back. If you'll come back with me.
Yes, if you have me.
Huh? Yeah, no. I will definitely have you. I like your voice. Your energy is good. And I believe you have something to say. And I do have something special I'm going to ask you. So I think I'm going to only spend like 15 minutes with my warm-up callers next week. So we're going to have a whole 45 minutes to get into some real deep stuff next week. So I have a commitment. You're going to be with me next week?
Next Wednesday evening?
Next Wednesday at 9 p.m.
You call, I'll answer.
Okay. But let me tell you how much I appreciate you. I can't thank you enough.
I thank you.
Yeah. Oh, this is what I want you to do too. Say it again. I'm sorry. Say that again.
I hope I didn't do too bad. I mean, prompt to first time experience. So no. I thank you for reaching out to me.
Oh no, you did fantastic. I think you're gonna end up being a regular. So thank you in advance.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Okay, I will. Thank you. Have a good night. We'll chat next week.
All right, love. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that's going to just about do it for another edition of Swym, Pwym. I'm Travis Bridges. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. I really appreciate it. As I just said, next week I'll be back. I'll have that guest, and I'll have some warm-up folk with, that we'll start off. But before I go, I won't be on Sunday night because I have a paid gig, and I'm going to go do it. And maybe I'll come on if I'm permitted to bring that to you. But we're bringing awareness to how we listen, how we hear, and how much of our personal agendas we bring into a situation, especially if there's any kind of chaos or disagreement going on. I don't want anyone to think that, you have to be insensitive or not care about how someone's feeling or not be considerate of another person's character or their personality. But I do want to bring awareness to studying, what's actually being said, the truth, examining facts to get to the truth, and doing the best you can at leaving out your personal, your thoughts. So with that being said, I'm gonna, till the next time, you be good. Find somebody you need to say I love you to, and don't just say it, but show it. And until next week, bye.